This is fantastic. Kids at Hope Day here at Canyon Breeze. Isn't this the best of all worlds? You know, to believe all kids can succeed, no exceptions, and to see all the treasure hunters today, that's the best of all worlds. That's what we're all about. This is wonderful.
You come from a new school, hadn't heard of Kids at Hope before, and you come here and you wonder, where does Kids at Hope come from? We are very lucky today to have the chief treasure hunter. He is the top of the Kids at Hope. His name is Mr. Rick Miller, and he's going to come to speak to you today. So Mr. Miller, come on up, sir. Let's hear it for him.
Good morning. As Mr. Burns said, you know, where did Kids at Hope come from? And I have to tell you, it came from you. A long time ago, I was concerned that America believed that some of its kids were going to do very well, some of its kids were going to do average, and we better be prepared for lots of kids who don't do well at all. And I thought that was a bad way of thinking about children, that some would do well and some would do okay, and we better be prepared for those who don't do well at all. And I thought, what happens if we believe that every child can succeed, no exceptions? What would that mean to every child and every parent and every teacher, that we just changed the way we thought about children? From some would do good, some would do average, and we better be prepared for those who don't, to the belief that every child can succeed, no exceptions. And so what we wanted to do back in 2000 was to create a model for the rest of the world to see, what does it look like when you come to a school or come to a community where everyone believes every child is capable of success and there are no exceptions. There are no exceptions. And we thought that would be a magnificent model because the other model already exists. Now I just want to spend a couple minutes with you and share a couple messages, one for parents, one for teachers, and one for children. For the parents, you are the most important person in the child's life. You will always be the most important person in your child's life, regardless of how old they are. And it's never too late to make a difference. But the message is, you can't give that which you don't have. If you yourself aren't a hopeful person, it's going to be tough for you to help your children become hopeful. And the one thing we learned in our research is that hope trumps everything else. If you have hope, there is a guarantee you will do well in life. If you have everything else without hope, there's a guarantee you won't do well in life. So if you're able to give your child anything at all, the first thing you want to give them is a sense of hopefulness, that they can accomplish great things in their life. And great things doesn't mean that they discover a cure for cancer or they become a professional football player. Great things mean they become a great mom or dad. Great things mean they become a friend. Great things mean they help their community out. That's what great really means, and that's what parents need to make sure their children understand, that you yourself are hopeful. You have dreams for your future. You believe you're capable of success and you're great already. You can't give that which you don't have. Make sure you give every child a sense of hopefulness, a sense of optimism, and a sense of success. To the teachers, everything you do is about time traveling. Every class you teach is to help kids become time travelers. And what's a time traveler? That's a child that relates what they're learning in school to how it's going to help them be better moms or dads, better community people. It's going to help them enjoy their hobbies and recreation. And certainly it's going to help them pursue their education and career goals. But that time traveling and education is more than just passing a test. It's about helping kids prepare for life. And isn't this the best definition of hope you've ever heard? Hope is the ability to visit your future, return to the present, and prepare yourself for the journey. Hope is the ability to visit your future, prepare for that future, but return to the present and prepare yourself for the journey. That's what education is all about. It's preparing yourself for the journey. And that's what teachers do. You create time travelers every single day. And to the kids, you are time travelers. You have a wonderful future ahead of you. And you will be empowered, meaning you can make decisions to determine what you want to achieve in life. Simple things. For example, when my son was 15 years old, he came to me and he says, "Dad, I want to go bungee jumping." I said to my 15-year-old son, "Over my dead body." So guess what my 15-year-old son did not get to do? He did not get to go bungee jumping. When my 15-year-old son turned 25, guess what he did? Guess who he did not ask? He did not ask me. Sooner or later, kids, you will make decisions for yourself. You won't have to ask your teachers, your moms or dads, your uncles or aunts, your grandparents, the Boys and Girls Club director, the YMCA director. You will make decisions for yourself. But you want to make those decisions based on lots of good information and experience. Let me finish with one last story about what makes Canyon Breeze such a special school. Remember, it's a school that doesn't believe that some kids will do well, some kids will do average, and you better be prepared for those who don't. Canyon Breeze believes all kids can succeed, and there are. And it finds ways for that to happen. So my last story is about a little kindergarten boy who loves to go up and down the fireman's pole. Up and down the fireman's pole. That's what kindergarten kids like to do. They like to go up and down the fireman's pole. If you like to go up and down the fireman's pole, raise your hand. So during recess, this little boy was going up and down the fireman's pole and the bell rang. When the bell rings, what are you supposed to do at school? Get down the fireman's pole, walk, don't run to your class, walk carefully to your class, stand in line until you're invited into the classroom. But when you're in kindergarten, you want to keep going up and down the fireman's pole. So the bell rang and little Jose came down the fireman's pole and he starts walking to class because he heard the bell ring. And then he looked back at the fireman's pole. And then he looked at the class. And then he looked back at the fireman's pole. And he looked back at the classroom. What do you think he won over? Certainly, because when you're 5 years old, that's what you're supposed to be doing. So Jose went back to the fireman's pole, went up and down one more time, and now he realizes he's late for class. When you're late for class, everybody goes, ooh. So Jose is now late for class, and we all go, ooh. Now Jose has to pass a teacher on his way back to class. And Jose is expecting the teacher to say, take the finger out of her pocket or his pocket and say, Jose, didn't you hear the bell ring? Don't you know when the bell rings, you're supposed to come down the fireman's pole, walk slowly to your classroom, don't get into any trouble, don't talk to anybody, and wait till you're invited in? So everyone has this finger when they grow up, don't they? When you become an adult, you carry it in your holster, right? And you pull it out when kids do something wrong. So Jose's walking back to the classroom after he's come down the fireman's pole. The bell's already rung, and he has to walk by this teacher. And the teacher says, Jose, stop. And Jose thinks he's in trouble, except he attends a Kids at Hope school. And the teacher looks at Jose and says, Jose, I saw you go up and down the fireman's pole when the bell rang. I only have to say one thing to you. When you grow up, you're going to be a great firefighter someday. Jose looks at the teacher and goes, yes. See, when you believe in kids, you believe all kids can succeed. Sometimes it's not the most important thing to come down the fireman's pole when the bell rings. Sometimes the most important thing is to time travel. At a Kids at Hope school, everyone understands that. And Canyon Breeze is a Kids at Hope school. It's one in the country where we bring people from all over the United States and now Canada to come visit. And when they leave, they say, we want to be Canyon Breeze. Happy Kids at Hope Day to Canyon Breeze.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. I want to present this to Mr. Miller because he has been a wonderful support for Canyon Breeze. You are always a Silverhawk and are always welcome. Thank you for coming. Let's hear it for him, please.
Canyon Breeze, thank you for a wonderful Kids at Hope Day. Let's hear it.